Today we're going to be doing long division, and this is something that you did last year, and so hopefully this will be a little bit of a review. And last year you learned different steps to help you solve long division problems. So the steps were to divide, then multiply, then subtract. I don't think you guys did check. That's something that we're going to introduce in 5th grade. And then you brought the number down, and then you had a remainder sometimes. In 5th grade, we're going to use R for either repeat or remainder. And to help you remember all these steps, a lot of your teachers taught you a mnemonic device. And so they taught you, the D can stand for dad, M can stand for mother, S can stand for sister. You guys didn't do C. B can stand for brother, and R can stand for rover. And so hopefully that sounds familiar and you can kind of remember some of those steps from last year. So we're going to use those steps to help us solve some long division problems. And as you can see off to the side there, I just put the first letter of each of those words to help me remember what to do. So divide, multiply, subtract, check, bring down, and then remainder or repeat. So let's go ahead and get started. So this says 625 divided by 4. So I'm going to ask myself, how many times can 4 go into 6? Or if I had to divide 6 by 4, what would I end up with? I know that 4 can only go into 6 once. So that's my first step, division. My next step is to multiply. So I'm going to multiply these two outer numbers. So I'm going to do 1 times 4 is 4. My next step is to subtract. So I'm going to do 6 minus 4, which is 2. This next step is check. And this is really important in 5th grade because we're going to be doing bigger and longer problems. And you want to make sure that this number is small, that this number right here is smaller than this number. If you end up with a number that's the exact same number as this one or bigger than this one, then you made a mistake and you need to go and change this number and move it up. But we'll deal with that in class. So for right now, let's just stick with this. So 6 minus 4 is 2. And the next thing is to bring down. So I'm going to bring down the 2. And then R stands for, in this case, it's going to be repeat. So I'm going to repeat the whole process all over again. So now I'm asking myself, how many times can 4 go into 22? Well, 4 can go into 22 5 times. And then I multiply. 5 times 4 is 20. So I put 20. I subtract. 22 minus 20 is 2. I check. That 2 is less than 4, so I'm good to go. I'm going to move on. And now I'm going to bring down the 5. Now I'm going to pause here for a second and just mention that with long division, it's really important that you write neatly and that you line up all your numbers correctly. From what I've seen, a lot of mistakes either happen because kids don't know their math facts or because they're not lining up their numbers correctly and then they subtract wrong or they bring down the wrong number. So it's really important to be neat. Okay, so let's finish this up. So I need to go ahead and divide again. So 25 divided by 4, or you can ask yourself how many times does 4 go into 25? And that is going to be 6 times. And 6 times 4 is 24. So write that down. Then I subtract because I just multiplied. 25 minus 24 is 1. And then I check it. 1 is less than 4, so I'm good to go. And in this case, I'm not going to repeat anymore because I have no more numbers to drag down or anything like that. So I'm just going to put R1. We're going to teach you something that's a little bit more sophisticated than remainder 1, but you don't need to worry about that for tonight's homework. So if you kind of remember this and you have the hang of this, you can go ahead and start doing your homework. But if you feel like you need to see one more sample, then just keep watching. So here's another problem. We have 8,917 divided by 4. So first thing is I'm going to divide. So 8 divided by 4 is 2, or you can think how many times does 4 go into 8. Either way, it's the kind of the same concept. So that's division. Multiplication, 2 times 4 is 8. Then I subtract, I get 0. 0 is definitely less than 4. So that was checking. Now I bring down, so I'm going to bring down the 9. And then I repeat the whole thing. That's what the R stands for. So 4 goes into 9. It goes in twice. And 2 times 4 is 8. So I subtract. I get a 1. I bring down this one. 4 goes into 11. 2 times. 2 times 4 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. I bring down, and 3 is less than 4, so I'm good to go. I bring down the 7. 4 can go into 37 9 times. 9 times 4 is 36. When I subtract, I get 1. I have no more numbers to drag down, so I know I'm done, and I have a remainder of 1. Okay? So at this point, if you get it, go ahead and go on and do your homework. If you don't get it, watch the video one more time or a couple more times, and then give your homework a try.